What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another video, and today I'm gonna be reacting to the real King Von story documentary. This joint, little 8 minutes. Just a breakdown probably of his career and stuff like that. Von, he had like how do I put it? He had a short career that was like a big though. It was short but big. He had so much potential, man. Definitely one of the biggest losses out of recent years for rappers and stuff like that. But yeah, RIP Vaughn, man, you know what I'm saying? And let's get into this, see what they got in this for. And remember, y'all, comment below what y'all think. Like the video and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And yeah. Don't play with me. Let's talk. How about some Drake? November 6th, 2020.
On November 6, 2020, Davon Bennett, better known as King Von, was pronounced dead from gunshot wounds.
That's still
This is
crazy.
his story.
People say karma ain't real, man. I believe karma's real, 100. You know, sometimes it do just be people's time to go, but other times, like, karma does play an effect into a lot of things too. It does exist, like, and then some people think like you don't get it because like there be a lot of bad people that nothing ever happens to, but just because it didn't happen in this lifetime doesn't mean it won't happen in another lifetime. I mean, personally, I believe in reincarnation, so people have a karmic cycle from that as well. But that's just my thoughts on that. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. That boulevard.
Picture a no man's land with broken windows, dark abandoned buildings, no law and order. There are carefully demarcated areas controlled by
Chicago.
rival bands of armed militia fighting over the rubble. Nearly every night there's sniper fire. It sounds like Beirut, but in fact it's America, a creature of state, local, and federal government, the product of bad politics, failed policy, and official neglect.
They just be wanting people to kill
It
each other.
exists, unseen except by those who live there, a stone's throw away from some of the most valuable real estate in our nation's third largest city.
Davon Bennett grew up in one of the roughest neighborhoods of Southside Chicago, Parkway Gardens, also known as O Block off of 64th, not 63rd. In the Gardens, he was known as Grandson, referring to his relationship with his grandfather, David Barksdale, one of the founders of the Black Disciples.
Started with Larry Hoover.
David
Larry Hoover
Barksdale
was a high supreme gangster. David Barksdale was a devil disciple.
Growing up, his life wasn't bad for what it was. Although he didn't meet his father until 8 years old, due to him being locked up on and off all through his early childhood, his mother and stepdad did their best to make sure he had what he needed. Davon was an A and B student and even enjoyed playing baseball up until
Damn, that's crazy. He could have did a lot of things with his life, man.
around high school. Growing up around poverty and violence in Southside Chicago, it's almost always inevitable to get involved in trouble.
It's easier to go on the block than it is to go to school.
Although he denies ever being part of a gang in his younger years, he admits to taking an interest in
Ain't that T-Roy? And then E-Dog. Who else?
the street life.
I don't even know
Davon's
the other
father would
people,
pass
I'm
away
saying.
and his grades would start to slip. He soon turned to crime himself, starting out just stealing bikes and other small things. But at the age of 15, he would catch his first case, unlawful carry of a firearm. Unfortunately, it didn't stop there.
Wasted that
First
footage.
case, just stealing bikes and other small things. But at the age of 15, he would catch his first case,
Damn.
unlawful carry of a firearm.
15.
Unfortunately, it didn't stop there. He would spend time in juvenile detention twice before the age of 18. Missing out on most of his teenage years, he wouldn't go more than 6 months without finding trouble with the law.
Yeah, he
At
didn't
this
get to
time,
live
he
like
didn't know
a
these
regular
run-ins with
kid's
the
life
law
at
would
all.
be small problems compared to what was coming. On May 29, 2014, a man by the name of Malcolm Stuckey was sitting on his porch with two others during a birthday party. Two men would approach him with loaded guns and open fire. Although they tried to flee down the street, Malcolm was shot in the head and died on the scene, whereas the two others involved were wounded but later survived. Initially,
that
only
even
one
him?
person was arrested for the crime, Michael Wade. But after more evidence
He
rose,
ratted.
Davon would find himself potentially facing 100 years in prison for murder and 2 attempted murder charges. He
That
would spend the next
dude
3.5 years
ratted
in
on
jail.
Vaughn.
He would have time to reflect on a lot of things. Meanwhile, he's locked up. People he's known since a kid would start to blow up off rapping. Lil Durk and G Herbo's careers were on the rise.
Facts.
Although he
Dirk and
didn't know-
Herb, bro, they the ones that really stayed consistent. Everybody else from back then fell off for real. Right now, the only ones still going hard is really Dirk and Herb, and then Pullo came and he just started going crazy. And I think Vaughn would have had a lot of longevity too, just like them. That's
But whether he'd ever be
tragic.
free again, he did take inspiration from what they were doing on the outside. He began freestyling and beatboxing in jail to pass time because there was nothing else to do. Taking after his grandfather's nickname, King David, he would get the nickname King Von from his cellmates who knew David, and they said the way he handled himself in the street reminded them of him. In 2017, after spending 3.5 long years in jail, his trial would only last 5 days. Michael Wade, who worked with the police trying to reduce his sentence, was given
Wow.
20 years, while Davon, who didn't cooperate, would be acquitted of all charges,
Mhm.
and 4 hours later,
He kept
released
his
back
mouth
into
closed,
civilian
no
life.
cap.
Wasting no time after being released, he began writing his first raps. He drew inspiration from urban novels as well as his own past experiences to write his first songs. Although spending so much time in and out of jail was something he never wanted to experience again, he admits it helped shape the person he was and made rapping about it easier. In
Damn.
late 2018, he began releasing music after linking back up with the now superstar Lil Durk. Lil Durk would co-sign his music from the beginning, where he even
Durky
uploaded his
up.
earliest songs on his own YouTube channel to help bring attention to Von's music. After the release of a few songs, he had already begun to build a fan base. Drill music peaked between 2010 and 2015 or so, and with the popularity of it decreasing over recent years, King Von's captivating way of telling just about any story over a drill beat with what looked like no effort at all would bring a refreshing and much needed new style to the drill scene.
Yeah, Vaughn had that
His
natural
early single
talent.
Problems had brought him some traction, but just a few months later, on the last day of 2018, he would drop his single Crazy Story, which told the story of a robbery turned shootout, and his life would change forever. This song would blow up almost instantaneously. Childhood friend and co-signer Lil Durk wasted no time hopping on the part 2 of the song after signing him to his Only the Family label. To further his career and by
OTF
personal choice,
OTF had a stacked roster at one point. Like they would have been one like the best team out for real. If none of the people would have died from OTF. Yeah, Newski, Vaughn, Rhonda, he got locked up. And then you also LA would have been messing with them. I don't know if he would have been OTF, but he would have been at least with them on songs and stuff. So they would have had pretty much all the best BD rappers except for Chief Keef. Like literally the other 4 best is Dirk, Vaughn, Newski, and LA to me. So they would have had all them.
out of Chicago and relocated to Atlanta. In 2018, he dropped his first official mixtape titled Grandson, which featured more collabs with Lil Durk and Booka 600. But with fame and fortune almost always comes beef. It seems trouble was something that always found its way back into Von's life, in one form or another.
Hey, gang.
Yeah.
I'll stop playing with Aldo, bro, for real. You know that shit be hurting for real.
Fuck no.
Yeah,
It
Vaughn
seemed like
didn't
every
give
few
a
months or
fuck.
so, Von found himself in a debacle online with another rapper. I mean, how many times a week do we see a rapper dissing another rapper? In today's world, we see this shit all the time, especially online. And in most cases, nothing ever happens. In 2020, Von would release 2 more projects, Levon James, and later Welcome to O-Block. The tape would peak at number 63 on the Hot 100,
Welcome to O-Block
which
had a
is
lot
in
of
fact
bangers.
very ironic. By then, he had gained so much popularity, his
63.
tapes would feature big artists from all over. He was just beginning to be solidified in the rap game. And then,
GBI investigators still here on scene. This shooting made national headlines as officials confirmed one of the 3 people shot and killed was rapper King Von from Chicago, who was here last night with friends.
what started as a fight outside of an Atlanta hookah lounge would turn into King Von's fatal last moments. It has since surfaced that the entourage...
It could have
of
all
people
been
behind this
avoided, bro. Vaughn should have not approached it like that. He just didn't realize that he was not a star instead of the muscle. Like,
shooting of Von are associated
They said he
with
was
the
off
rapper
some
Quando
drugs, too,
Rondo.
though.
While it's nearly impossible to figure out if King Von and Quando Rondo had beef of their own, they clearly ran with 2
Tim.
different circles. Von was signed to Dirk, and Quando was signed to NBA Youngboy. Because they were so close to these more experienced rappers, it's possible that the beef between Von and Rondo was actually tied to the relationships with Lil Durk and Youngboy. Although it was never really confirmed, people did believe that Von and NBA Youngboy had some type of issue with each other after Von posted a picture of Youngboy's ex-girlfriend. Regardless of the reason why this all started, the truth is nobody deserves to die at such a young age. Von was just getting started. It's actually crazy to think about the fact that we won't be able to see what his full potential was. But one thing is for sure, music doesn't die, and his footprint will remain.
Damn, bruh. R.I.P. that man Von, man. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, short career, but you know, massive impact for real with it. Especially on the drill scene, man. Yeah, that's the end of the video, though, y'all. Don't forget to let me know what y'all think about that. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, man.